you'd least suspect it.
Where?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the channel that hits different. For a while now, the Internet's been obsessed with the fizzy
We're doing the anniversary
that
of
is
cheese.
McDonald's Sprite. In case you've never had it, it's like perfectly chilled liquid Pop Rocks bursting with lemon lime flavor. The general consensus is that the Sprite being served out of McDonald's soda fountain is stronger, giving it an electric or even a spicy taste.
Why is it spicy?
You need to order a Sprite, extra spicy.
Extra spicy? Whoa, it's spicy!
Mango.
Others have said that this stuff is so powerful it could probably fry fish.
I'm about to fry some fish. You want some? Yeah, but we don't have grease. I got something strong enough.
My personal favorite flavor comparison, though, is that it tastes like what a Super Saiyan 2 looks like. Crisp and full of lightning. It's even gotten to the point where McDonald's and Sprite themselves have had to acknowledge this trend.
Hey everybody, Chris K here. I'm in the mood for some spice. First, the spicy Sprite. That's spicy.
But obviously, the next question that everyone has on their mind is, what exactly makes the drink so explosive, so good, so crisp? Well, the internet has plenty of theories. Food theories, trying to answer exactly that. In general, the guesses circulating the internet boil down to 4 key factors. The first is that the Sprite syrup getting shipped to the restaurants gets special treatment due to a long-standing partnership between Coke and McDonald's.
Coke sends syrup in plastic bags to other restaurants and stores. They send the syrup to McDonald's in stainless steel containers.
The second theory is that the carbonation levels are just higher at McDonald's.
So you get more carbonation, that's why it burns your nose.
Third is that the Sprite is extra sweet to better combat the saltiness of McDonald's fries.
McDonald's hired a sensory scientist, and he found out that the salt that they use in their fries enhances the flavor of the Sprite.
And finally, some have thrown all of that other stuff away and said that there's no difference, but rather everything's the result of McDonald's having a larger straw.
Apparently the straw is bigger so you get more flavor in your mouth. Okay, this one's definitely bro. Who even writes this?
So today we're putting this debate to rest once and for all by digging into the facts and then running our own battery of scientific tests. Why is McDonald's Sprite so different? Is it different? Or is this just a self-fulfilling prophecy started by the internet hype machine that now everyone just implicitly believes? Get ready, theorists. Today we obey our thirst, but follow the facts. Now, before we get to my big taste experiment, putting all these theories to the test, I think it makes sense to look at the possible explanations one at a time to see if there's anything we can debunk right off the bat. The first hypothesis that I've seen circulating around is that Coca-Cola specially delivers the Sprite syrup to McDonald's restaurant in these large stainless steel tanks. This is the result of a long-standing relationship between the two companies. And right off the bat, this one does seem to be rooted in some amount of truth. The relationship between Coke and McDonald's started in the early days of the restaurant's expansion, with the two companies partnering up and largely growing together.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just had to get out of that mango.
Their relationship is so strong that Coke is contractually barred from selling syrup to other restaurants for less than what McDonald's pays, even if it means costing them business. There's even a division at Coca-Cola dedicated to specifically McDonald's business, aptly named the McDonald's division. Look, they're saving the creativity for the marketing and not the department naming. Needless to say, Coke works closely with McDonald's to make sure that they have everything they need to deliver their product in the best way possible. And in turn, McDonald's spends a large amount of resources to ensure that they're giving their customers the best Coca-Cola experience they can. But does any of this actually affect the way that syrup is being shipped? Yes, it does. You see, the concept of delivering the syrup in stainless steel vats makes a lot of sense. The steel helps ensure that the syrup's flavor is the purest it can be. And when you look at the reality of the situation, Coke is indeed sending syrups to McDonald's in steel vats. There's just one problem. It's not Sprite syrup. According to James McIntyre, a franchise owner from Pennsylvania, not all Coke products get the same treatment. The syrup for Coca-Cola, that arrives in stainless steel tanks. The Sprite, however, does not. It instead comes in the standard plastic bags that everyone else is using. That's right, it's just a box lined with a plastic bag. We even went to our local McDonald's and asked to speak to the manager, in the least Karen way possible, to see if we could get confirmation of any of this. And yep, only Coca-Cola gets the stainless steel vat treatment, not Sprite. So that's one major theory debunked right off the bat. Next up, the water quality and overall level of carbonation. As hype around McDonald's soda has circulated across the internet for the past 5 years, various sources have started to come clean about how clean McDonald's soda fountain. really are. And it's here that our friend James McIntyre, that franchise owner from Pennsylvania I talked about in the last paragraph, helps us out again, revealing that McDonald's has not one, but 4 different water filtration systems that the water has to go through before it ever makes it to the soda tower. This process includes a state-of-the-art reverse osmosis filter that works by applying pressure to the unfiltered water, forcing it through a membrane and into a storage tank, which in turn helps remove dissolved minerals, bacteria, and other solids. This makes the water virtually tasteless before the syrup gets mixed in, thereby ensuring a consistent flavor profile wherever you're going in the country. Usually a restaurant or a gas station that has itself a soda fountain is going to connect the water line directly to the machine. Rarely are they incorporating a filter, let alone 4. This makes the process simpler and cheaper, but apparently McDonald's isn't afraid to spend a little bit more. But it's not all about purity. Once the water is squeaky clean and tasteless, the next step in the process is for them to make it sub-zero. Alright, not exactly sub-zero, but just really, really cold. See, the other big difference is the temperature that McDonald's keeps everything at. Normally, other soda fountains are set to flash chill their sodas as they're being dispensed, so that they come out cold, but not cold. The Golden Arches, on the other hand, are pre-chilling not only the filtered water, but also the syrup to the perfect range between 33 and 38 degrees Fahrenheit, just above freezing temperatures. This range is important because it's the optimal temperatures for the carbonation of the water. You see, CO2, or carbon dioxide, the chemical compound that makes fizzy drinks fizz, has a higher rate of absorption and dispersion in colder liquids. In other words, the colder the liquid is, the more carbonation it's able to have. This is why warm drinks tend to go flat quicker. The gas is able to escape more easily. So with the Sprite's water and syrup both being pre-chilled, it's preventing any unwanted fluctuations in temperature when the water and syrup get mixed together in the soda fountain. In other words, the claim that McDonald's Sprite is more carbonated is technically true, but not for the reasons that you would expect. It appears like it has more to do with the colder temperatures of the water and syrup rather than any sort of artificial increase in the amount of actual bubbles being shoved into the mix. But then, what about the syrup to water ratio? One of the biggest myths that you see circulating around the internet is that the syrup to water ratio coming out of McDonald's fountains is actually higher than what's being served up in a typical bottle or can of Sprite, thereby making their soda sweeter and thus more flavorful or stronger to the drinkers. This is one, though, that McDonald's themselves have publicly shut down, saying that there's no special formula they have. That said, I'm not just gonna naturally trust a corporation. Can we take their word for it? The answer is actually somewhere between yes and no. While McDonald's claims to strictly adhere to the Coca-Cola standard of 1 to 5 water syrup ratio, or 1 ounce of syrup to every 5 ounces of water, they do take into consideration the ice that's being added into the drink, meaning that they have a slightly higher syrup content, but it's done so that once